Disneyland Railroad and the Monorail are closed again, and damn, I just hate this. We'll check in on the Jolly Holiday and Grizzly River Run and try to guess what they're doing at ESPN Zone. But first, let's get on the Pixar Pal Around and see what's new backstage at Avengers Campus. Actually, before we do that, I want to peek at Ariel's Undersea Adventure to see if I can see anything new happening, and still I just see a rail. I don't know what the holdup is here at Little Mermaid, but those walls have been up for more than a month now. 2 months, probably, maybe longer, and all we can see is a rail. Let's take a peek backstage at Avengers Campus. It's officially on. The Timon parking lot is closed. Nobody can park there, no nothing. So anything you see here is all construction related. Any activity we see backstage is construction related, or I should say demo related, because they can't, it's going to be a while before we see anything, even dirt. It's going to be a while before we see dirt. First, they got to clear all this stuff out of backstage, wherever this building is going to wind up being. So everything that's within your eyesight right now, that's not the green buildings or that, back of Luigi's, all that's got to be cleared. And then they can start taking machinery and digging up the concrete, etc. So it's going to be quite a while before we see like visible progress, just like they did at Galaxy's Edge, where we saw them moving cars for a couple of weeks and that was it. One thing that I will be keeping my eye on, though, is that white building in the left of frame. I don't know where that fits in with the timing and the rest of what's going on behind Avengers Campus, but that's the building that we should be seeing that building get taken down. Again, the timing is going to be interesting. We're going to keep our eyes open. For right now, though, it's still very early in these stages, but it is on. I'll say that. It is on. Quick peek over at backstage behind Incredicoaster. Nothing is on here. I don't know for how long I'll be doing that, but yeah, nothing is on here. Meanwhile, I checked, okay, that's that pink building that we just saw from the Pixar Pal Around. Nothing to see over these walls, but this is exactly where the construction will be, behind that fence and on the side of that wall. Just giving you a heads up, Disney. Giving you a heads up. I'm not sure for how long I can keep from looking through that fence. Thanks, guys. If you're gonna put up a script, just go ahead and do it now. Don't tease me, please. So with that, we'll get back over to our main park, obviously Disneyland, and check in on what's happening at the gates, which is something new, right? So they finished installing the new gates on the far left, and they're satisfied with their progress on that. So they have begun installation on the next section of gates here at the Disneyland main entrance. My suspicion is that they won't start testing these things until all of these are done, until all the new gates are installed. I will say, though, if you are coming to the park, to Disneyland, note that because they're short turnstiles, they are scanning guests in right there down the middle. So if you see the lines are a little too long for your liking, check down the middle and see if there's cast members there scanning guests in. Most likely that will be the case, especially early in the morning. And for now, as it has been the past few weeks, still manually scanning guests in. I can also report that the same thing is happening across the way over at California Adventure. They're using the new entrances, but still manual, and they've got walls up now to the next section over. It looks like DCA has just 3 sections, so that's all that's left there. They'll do this one for a month or whatever, and then they'll move over to the final stage all the way to the left. Let's get in the park and get sad, because when I see these, man, these walls, they make me so sad. I hate when the Disneyland Railroad is closed. I understand why they're doing it, but I just hate it, especially seeing the walls up over here over the entrance on the, at the far left, because that wasn't the case during the last refurb, because they weren't doing any track replacement. This is a good sign that what they are doing is in fact track replacement, because they're covering, they have to dig this up. So there's going to be activity on this part of the track as well. So our previous guess that this is going to be another, or actually the completion of the track replacement process is what's happening now. And so therefore it should probably take about 3 months. Moving inside the park, we can see a few construction walls here. This is not a refurb situation, though. What's happening on, the inside part of the park, of the Disneyland Railroad, those construction walls there are only to obscure the track replacement and to tell guests visually that it's closed. But they've already, the train station itself, the depot itself, has already had its refurb. Nothing new to do here. Those walls are just a visual identifier. Don't come in. You'll find the same thing at all the other stations, such as Tomorrowland, the train station at Tomorrowland. I'm here though. I want to check on those signs. They cleaned up that sign on the right, brand new and fixed up, but they didn't fix the one on the left, the one that has the Tomorrowland signage on there. So I'm going to be checking in here to see if they put this one behind scrim and scaffold and have it match the upkeep, the cleanliness, the finished product nature of the one on the right. Let's go back to Main Street and check in on the Jolly Holiday, where the scrim and scaffold are, well, actually it's just scaffold at this point. It's very windy still, so they don't put the scrim up while it's windy, but it's still a very invasive looking operation. Lots and lots scaffolding covering every square foot of this building's exterior. You can see there's some tarps taped up. They're getting ready to protect things, so that's a good sign of paint and polish on the way. On the far right, we should expect to see them replacing those shingles on the roof. And here we got, on the far left, we got some construction workers there actively working. They're not wasting any time. They've been moving quickly on this project. I'm not positive what those two guys on the left are doing. It looked like a nail gun that he was holding, but I wasn't sure. But that seems like the opposite of what they should be doing. They should be removing shingles as opposed to nailing things in. So who knows? I'm not a construction worker. I don't know how things work or what they use. Reminder though, because Jolly Holiday is closed, Refreshment Corner is serving breakfast. Just another reminder for that. It is open in the morning and they are serving some breakfast. Across the way at Pixie Hollow, I'm just checking in to see if there's any new developments. You can see the walls are still up for the meet and greet. That is still closed. We do not have a date as of now. One thing I noticed when I was checking in there, I love being in this space, but the water features were turned off. And that's unusual because while the place is closed, it has been closed for a while and they still have the water features on. So I'm not sure if it means anything, probably nothing. Walk by to see if anything has changed behind that scrim. It's very difficult to see both with the naked eye and through the lens. It's harder to see through the lens on that scrim than it is the naked eye, but I tried looking, no luck. I couldn't see anything going on through there. It's very difficult. Reminder, as I mentioned in the intro, the monorail is closed. This makes me really, really sad. It bums me out. I love transportation rides, and when they take these things down, it really I lose my chill a little bit. It's only been a week, and I already miss them so much. But we can say that at least there's something positive coming out of this at the monorail. If you go to downtown Disney Station, you can tell, again, that they are, just like the main entrance, they are rebuilding the gates here as well. Except that they're doing more than just the turnstiles. They're rebuilding the entrance entirely, which is exciting. I can't wait to see if there's anything new or interesting to happen there. But we're going to get at least the new turnstiles there. Meanwhile, back in the park, gosh, we're going all over the place. Sleeping Beauty Castle, the snow has been removed. That's exciting. Well, I don't know if it's exciting, but it's new and different. So one more step closer to original classic Disneyland. Just a nice classic Sleeping Beauty Castle. Again, my favorite. I do love this. Same on the backside as well. No snow, no icicles, no anything anywhere. We are 100% in classic Disneyland. One thing that's missing from classic Disneyland, as we mentioned last week, is that tree in Fantasyland. I'm just popping in here to see if there's any new developments. I'm looking for signs that the tree is being replaced. Right now, the signs are bad. It's still just sod. And one thing I'll notice also, not just that it's sod, but the stump is still there. I don't think you can plant a new tree if the old stump is still in there. Right? I'm not a horticulturalist, but it seems illogical for them to be able to do that. The only thing that can happen is that same tree could grow out again. So I'm wondering if that is what's happening. We'll have to wait and see. Fantasyland. The Fantasyland Theater is closed now that the Christmas season is over. I'm expecting nothing to happen here for a while. I think it's Celebrate Gospel in the summer. But having said that, I took a peek through. I could tell that they were working back there. It was really difficult for me to get my camera to focus correctly. But something is happening. That does not look like the Christmas set. That's not the Christmas set right there, is it? Try another angle to see if I can't see anything new. It's really difficult to get through these leaves, man. But yeah, there's that blue with the gold flourish. I don't see that as being Christmas, right? So what are they putting in here? There they go. There's some guys. One more try. That's a scissor lift doing work. And look at that. Okay, so there's a hanging light fixtures. They're candles, a chandelier looking thing. Man, that's tough. I'm not sure what they're installing here, if that's for Celebrate Gospel or not. It could be. That could be for Celebrate Gospel. We'll find out in time. Meanwhile, let's go to Frontierland, check in on Big Thunder. We've been reporting that, they've been doing updates to the queue. The water's back on. Still no water, though, out here where the train makes its bank. This makes me sad. I don't know what the issue is. I'm sure there's something. I know that they want the water to be on here, and I'm hoping that there's a good reason. But man, it really affects the aesthetic of the scene, not just because of the running water, which is great, but it also, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it makes this water and the collected water stagnant, and then it gets it starts to get kind of murky and ugly. They need to turn that water back on as soon as they can. The Mark Twain is back this week, guys. Isn't that great? It was just a short closure, and I really enjoyed seeing this on the water. That's some positive news. Don't like the monorail being closed. Don't like the Disneyland Railroad closed, and I don't like the Mark Twain being closed, but it is back now and back on the water. Okay, guys, if you'll allow me, let me take a quick break to remind you guys of our preferred travel partners, GetAwayToday. They are fans of our show, and we are fans of them. If you are planning a trip to the Disneyland Resort or to any Disney theme park or even to Universal or Alani or anything of that nature, make your travel arrangements through GetAwayToday. We love them. They are fantastic. They are the best in the business at making sure that you get everything you need out of a vacation at a Disneyland Resort or at the Disneyland Resort or Walt Disney World or anywhere you like. Knowledgeable, friendly, kind, and you'll probably get a good deal there. Use the link in our description for GetAwayToday. Let them know we sent you, and I hope you guys enjoy your trip. Matter of fact, I may need to be getting on that Mark Twain in the near future because I'm just checking in on New Orleans Square and the train depot. This track is, it's closed. This whole thing is closed. They're doing it again. So now's the perfect opportunity for them to fix the break room at the New Orleans Square station for the Disneyland Railroad. There are no views, though. I cannot see anything from the ground now. They put these walls up along the entirety of the track. Impossible to see what's going on from the ground. So I may have to try and get on that on the Mark Twain to see if we can get any kind of view from there, just to see if they're working on it. I'm not necessarily to see what they're doing, but just to see if they're working on it. Next door, the Haunted Mansion, as I recorded this, was still closed. It opened the day after this, obviously, and we got our first ride-throughs. I hope you guys watched our video. We were there Saturday morning, rope dropped Haunted Mansion, got our ride-throughs in, and we put out a video talking about, our reflections on what's happened there, what's changed, what else is new inside the mansion, because it's not just the bride. There are a few other changes to note inside the mansion. So if you didn't check out that video, I do recommend you guys giving a look, get my thoughts on what's happening at the Haunted Mansion in the attic and elsewhere. And I think that covers it for Disneyland. So we're going to head back over to DCA, check in on Emotional Whirlwind. The scaffolding is down, which I was surprised to see. So the scaffolding's down, so whatever work that they were doing on the gondolas appears to be done. There was some discussion as to maybe whether or not they might be putting in the new characters from Inside Out 2. So I took a look and I tried to spot as many as I could. As a matter of fact, I did spot everyone, all the gondolas. There's Anger, so that's old character. That is discussed. Somewhere through that fence is discussed. Rainbow Unicorn, obviously. There is Anxiety, Sadness, Bing Bong, and those minion-like characters, they're Inside Out workers, and Take Care. That's all of them. That's all the gondolas. So no, they are not putting on new characters onto Inside Out, same characters as before. If they were going to, they would have changed them already. Let's go to Grizzly River Run, where the water is still drained. It's going on a prolonged closure to update many facets of the river, I'm sure. I always find this interesting. It's kind of a peek behind the curtain. You can see the rocks there. You can see where the water line hits, the dark part versus the lighter part, separated by the yellow line. So they feel, that's how real it feels. You feel like those are real rocks when you're going through there, but it's actually, you know what I mean? It's like, you can see the support and how they're held up. Same thing for this log over here. You got the steel support holding it up. So it's kind of a look behind the curtain. I love doing that, by the way. I like peeking. Meanwhile, we got these logs cut up here. I don't know. Are those real? Like, what am I looking at? Why do they need cut logs here? I'm not sure. Meanwhile, over at, I don't know if it's Mountain Road or Frog Jump Falls, but We're keeping an eye on what's happening in this section where we're looking for the geysers to be fixed. Now, I can't see if there's anything happening there, but we can see that they've installed some new, I don't know what those are, those gray steel or metallic of some kind supports there. I'm not sure what those are, but they are definitely new. Those were not there before. But again, I don't know if there's anything happening with the geyser as of yet. Let's hope so. But those things are unrelated as far as I know to that part of it. That's a separate repair they're doing there. And then we found some crew at the big drop at the end. Again, hard to say what they're looking at or what they're working on. There was no active work being done. The guys were just preparing to do something, I'm sure. Meanwhile, downtown Disney, Wonderful World of Sweets. I heard that they were going to be opening soon, but we're still days away. Any day now, really, this place should be opening. But as of now, we're still just kind of waiting. The doors are still tinted. The sign's up, the sign's lit, and everything is good there. We just got to wait for them to open up the inside. Tortilla Joe's. I'm just going to keep going. I'll let the pictures do the talking. My goodness. Maybe they're waiting. There's an order of operations. They're just waiting. Maybe they were waiting for Parkside Market to finish, and then that's because they've just now started on, here we go, ESPN Zone, where we know that there are walls up. We've seen the walls up already. But now look, they've got scaffolding. Scaffolding is up now on the outside of the building. So my guess is that they're going to take down the brick veneers and those signs like the Lucas sign there and whatever else is up there. I can't tell if anything has been done as of yet. Those look like there used to be something there, but I think that's how that always was, those orange squares there. But my guess is they're going to remove the veneers and all of the art on the walls, and then they've got scrim up over the broadcast booth out there at the main entrance. So this is definitely going to lose its look in preparation, obviously, for some kind of guest-facing retail building. Is the assumption. It's going to be 3 different retail shops inside that building. That's what we know so far. That's what we believe we know so far. And then finally, in our last update, I think it was, 2 updates ago, we thought that the dress shop was being moved. There was a permit to install a new sign for Disney Storyland Boutique. We thought the dress shop was being moved. The dress shop is not being moved. It is being rethemed. So it's going to be the same shop it was before. It just has a new name, the Disney Storyland Boutique, because they don't sell dresses anymore. You can't call it a dress shop if you're not selling dresses. I guess that the dress fad or whatever is died out. So it's back to being, I don't know, just another clothing store downtown Disney. And with that, we'll summarize all the ongoing closures at this time. Great moments with Mr. Lincoln. It's been closed for, 9 months now. We're hoping it's back in time for the 70th in May. Meet and greet at Pixie Hollow. Still no date. Still no date for the meet and greet to reopen, although you can walk around that area. The Disneyland Monorail, closed. No date as of yet. There's still an open end. This is it's going to be at least February 26th. Jolly Holiday, same, closed. No return date or no reopening date on the calendar as of now. Same for the Disneyland Railroad, although we expect that to be about 3 months. The Disney Gallery in downtown Disney, okay, that's going to be closed for about 2 weeks. It's closed now, and will reopen on February 1st. Is that, you know what that is? The Disney Gallery is actually the dress shop, if I recall. Wasn't that the same shop before? I think it was. It's a Small World is closing on January 21st. That's actually, by the time you see this, I think it'll be closed. And then it'll stay that way for a few months. Then over at DCA, Grizzly River Run, no date. It's a prolonged closure. That's going to be at least until February 26th. Inside Out, we've seen the updates there. They're almost done. That's going to reopen on January 24th. And then Redwood Creek Challenge is closing on February 17th. I believe this is related, or it could be related to what they're doing at the Grand Californian, although I'm not sure. That's closing on February 17th. No date yet when it might reopen. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I do thank you for watching. If you did like this show and want to show you support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. And if you have a moment, like I mentioned earlier in the show, check out the video that we did on the new bride at the Haunted Mansion. It's a really interesting change. Lots to talk about there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And fresh baked.